Meeting's called to order at 6:00 p.m. All stand for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance to the United States and Texas flags.
Let us pray. Our Father, we come before you tonight, this week before the day that collectively all of America will celebrate Thanksgiving. And we're indeed thankful tonight for many things that we often take for granted. We're blessed to live in a country like America. We thank you, Lord, for this group of people that have come tonight to give their time and to make decisions to better our city. We pray for divine wisdom to prevail tonight, and everything that's said and done ultimately bring glory to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Roll call.
Brandon Thomas,
Here.
Patricia Wood,
Here.
Amanda Willows,
Here.
Joey McCarthy, Stacy Nichols.
Here.
Let the record show absent Mayor Pro Tem Joey McCarthy, but also let the minutes reflect that he notified me September the 6th, 2017, he wouldn't be here today. But also present Mayor Bargeton and City Attorney David Hamilton and Interim City Secretary Tricia Smith taking the minutes.
Anybody signed up?
There's nobody signed in for the public forum. There may be people here for the other agenda items. Nobody signed in for that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Move to item 7, consent items. Discuss, take action on A, monthly bills and purchase orders for October 2017. B, minutes for October 2017 City Council meeting. C, financial update for October 2017. And D, monthly activity reports for October 2017 from 1, the Police Department, 2, Public Works Department, and 3, Reno Volunteer Fire Department.
I'd like to motion that we accept the consent items A through D and 1 through 3.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to approve consent items 7A through D and 1 through 3. All in favor?
Aye.
Move to item 8A, sex offender ordinance regulating registered sex offender residency and access to certain venues.
Ladies and gentlemen, in your packet, you'll see a briefing sheet where I try to explain what we want to do here tonight. Then attached to that's the proposed ordinance that Mr. Hampton put forth. Also included is a application for exemption that's required for the law and a map that shows child safety zones. What happened this last legislative session, they passed House Bill 1111, which allows general law cities to enact child safety zones and restrict where child sex offenders can live and basically do. Just to be real short about it, it allows us to enact child safety zones that are 1,000-foot barriers around public parks, schools, daycares, public playgrounds, things like that. definitions are all, definitions usually in state laws already been enacted. This is much needed, in my opinion. Until September 1st, we couldn't enact anything like that. State law actually prohibited it. Now we can do it. The map, like some of y'all are arguing with the map. The map includes the trail, the Reno Rail Trail, Blossom Blue Daycare, the park, Knox Park, both apartments on the far east side, which has playgrounds that match the criteria for, state law. And the big square right there off the trail is a, group home. For, mentally challenged, physically challenged kids, for handicapped kids. It's at the dead end method, method.
Just a house? Or?
Well, it's a house, and they, they're state licensed under the, they're licensed under the, child,
Protective service or something?
license like a daycare, basically. A little bit more strict because. of the,
CPS, is that what you're asking?
CPS, covers that, yes. Six or 10, handicapped kids, they're either wheelchair bound or handicapped. And because of their classification, they would fit into that category. And, allow the 1,000-foot barrier around their property. Where the 1,000 feet starts, it goes property line to property line. So that big square is like 20 some odd acres. It goes out 1,000 foot from the property to that 20 acre lot.
So that spot in the middle is just because it's not within, it's not in proximity of any of those other yellow boxes? There's one, the spot here where there's, like, not in the orange?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
it just doesn't,
There's just a gap right there with 1,000 feet over the lot.
okay.
I have a question on the trail. Have surrounding cities done this for their sections of the trail? Paris has?
Paris had for a few years. They enacted it actually before I left.
So I was wondering with it stretching from Farmersville to Texarkana, I was wondering.
Home rule cities have always been able to do this. General law cities have not up until September 1st. I think if people would be did. And obviously, with the trail, you have transients every now and then coming up and down the trail. And they're registered sex offenders. Registered child sex offenders, understand the difference. What this is regulating is those sex offenders that were convicted of offenses involving kids under 17. Okay? It doesn't restrict all sex offenders.
I think that wouldn't that be all of them?
No. No.
What-
You
what
you have sex offenders that were convicted of adult rape.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Child sex offender.
Child sex offenders. Yeah, everybody thinks all sex offenders.
Right.
No. Yeah, I think it'd be good. That way it would keep them off of it. And have law enforcement, keep law enforcement, and mechanism to keep them off of it.
Now, do we have anyone living in this buffer zone right now? So if someone wants to move
We
in,
did, up until about last week, well, 2 weeks ago. He had just moved in, he did a job, and I let him know that it wasn't gonna work out real well for him. He moved.
so no one could move into, let's say, the apartments.
No, if you're a registered sex offender and you were convicted of a child offense, you wouldn't be able to live in the apartment.
Okay, how about anywhere in the,
It's an orange area,
mhm.
wouldn't be able to live in it. And what they would have to do, they would have, and most, a lot of them do anyway. We won a few weeks ago, he was the first one to do it in a while, and he called, because the exact criteria. He called and asked, hey, is there anywhere in Reno that's restricted? I'm like, no, handy about a month or two ago, because I just off the bat said, no, sorry, you can't. Because they already had a couple of addresses, we just had, both of them were in the orange areas.
Right.
It's a pretty good tool for us to keep dangerous people out of town. Obviously, we can't keep them completely out of town, because constitutionally, we have to provide somewhere for them to live. State law just says, hey, if you want, you can enact these ordinances that restrict where they can, and I think that's good, because obviously, if you're a city official, and we all are here, there's some folks you just don't want living next to the park or the trail.
Right.
And this would help me police that.
And what about this?
What that is, House Bill 1111 requires, if we enact an ordinance, the ordinance has to have a mechanism for them to file for an exemption, just like any other city ordinance, you can ask for a variance.
Conveyance.
Right. The only requirement is they have to fill out this form, be put on the council agenda, file it through the city secretary, be put on the council agenda, and explain why they want that exemption covered. And it's something this council will either vote yes or no to that. Just like any other variance with any other city ordinance. The dangerous part of that is, if you do it for one, you get really good, you can be able to do that for all of them, or pick and choose. Okay. But it's required by law. Now, I can't think, I registered sex offenders for almost full-time for 5 years in Paris. I can't think of a sex offender one that would really want to go through that process.
Right.
But hey, I don't get shocked by much anymore, so there's no penalty. But it's required, we have to do it. We have to publish the map, keep the map current, header engineering help us keep that map. And there's an actual layer in the GIS system for that map now. But we have to publish it online or somehow, that way they can look it up. If somebody's, we have a prospective client who wants to move here, they have to be able to look it up and see. And we have to keep it current. So if we open up another park or something like that, we have to adjust the map accordingly.
What if we were to open up a park and someone lived within that buffer zone?
They're grandfathered in, unless they violate their state registration rules. Once they violate their state registration rules and say they go to prison, or get put on probation, that ordinance says we can make a move. Now, I personally think if they own property or something like that, they'd get pretty supported by it. But
Can't make them sell it.
can't make them sell it, but we can sure make them not live there.
Are they gonna give notice of this, like with, the big events that take place on the trail, like, say the Tour de Paris? Are they gonna make notice of that to participants?
What I plan on doing if this passes, what I plan on doing is doing a press release, making it known, we've enacted this, put it out to Paris News, whatever. Then put it on our website, that we have it. And make the current registry aware, oh, this is the thing now, we have to go by this.
Yeah, so I know there's more and more events that come through Reno.
So do we, are we gonna have anybody that's living in this area right now that you know of?
No,
Okay.
no. There was one I thought that was gonna be close, but I think he's just a few feet outside of it. And he's honestly not, say no problem, he doesn't cause me a problem. He cooperates, does everything he's supposed to do. This would be a good tool for us. This is something we have been able to do here. And it's honestly, and I looked at it several years ago, and I never really could understand why the state made that line between homeowner cities and general law cities. The big reason why is, there were some small towns years ago that tried to enact some of these ordinances, and what they did, some of these small towns, it made it impossible to live anywhere. So what it would do, it would do the reverse. Instead of giving law enforcement tools, the police where dangerous people can live, can't live, yeah, you wanna enforce the laws and be strict and whatnot, but you need to make it where they can possibly register. That's the whole thing, is tracking and keeping up with it.
We don't have an ordinance number yet.
No, it's not, I don't think you get one until it's voted on, right?
Generally, that's how it works.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the sex offender ordinance regulating sex offender residency and across to certain venues.
I'll say.
We have a motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to pass an ordinance, sex offender ordinance regulating registered sex offenders' residency and access to certain venues. All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, annexation of 5755 Pine Mill Road, 5775 Pine Mill Road, and 5785 Pine Mill Road.
Let me just tell you, first of all, there's a typo in the copy that went out in your packet. That's been corrected. It was on page 1, down there about the third or fourth paragraph, had the wrong city listed. That's been corrected. This is the follow-up to the three addresses that are listed in the ordinance, 5775, 5755, and 5785 Pine Mill. The city's had not 2, but 3 public hearings on the property. This ordinance would, you've got a map there, and there's one here on the wall. Let me tell you, on your map, the corresponding addresses are there along with the property numbers, which are all included in the ordinances. And as an aside, there's been a service plan, which is required by statute, that's been provided. It's been here, I think, since August or September. That's a part of the ordinance. There was also a developmental plan that was considered by the owner of the property, which was required since part of this is ag. And the actual ordinance proposes to annex 1 acre from each of these 3 different properties. So the easiest one is 5775, or property number 59360, that's 1 acre. So that entire piece of property and the structures on it would be annexed into the city. The one just to the left of that, 5755, which is property number 53260, that's a larger tract. Again, all the structures are up at the front of that, close to Pine Mill Road. 1 acre of that is gonna be annexed. And same thing with 5785, which is property 53290. All those structures on that are up close to the front. Those will be annexed in. The description in the ordinance is 1 acre. So basically, this is gonna annex, if passed, 3 acres of land into the city, which are right adjacent to the city limits anyway, already receiving many public services, water, I think sewers out there, trash pickup, and police protection. So the increase in cost to the city is minimal. Anybody got any question?
Do we have to get it surveyed?
You will, in order to get the city limit sign extended, if this is approved, a survey will have to be done of these 3 lots to make that city limit sign move out to the description in the ordinance.
At our expense?
Yes, sir.
How's the 1 acre gonna be determined?
Well, it's, the description's in there, and if you'll look, Mr. Mayor, at, I think there's an Exhibit A that's attached. The 1 acre descriptions are in there. Page 4.
read it right, it should look kinda like that, right?
Correct. The property to the left, 5755, will be a rectangle, and the northern part of that will be down just a little bit from its brother there. It'll be just, and then the one at 5785, because it's very narrow across the width, the property line will be extended back further to the north.
So on 5755, it'll be run the entire length along Pine Mill Road.
Yes, sir. It takes in, can you put that back up there, that other deal, the CAD map, yeah. Where is it?
Right there.
Yeah. On this one right here, takes in this, see, there's a structure. It'll take in all this and go up to about right here, and then come across, take in 1 acre, okay? On this one, the middle one, which is 5775, that's 1 acre, so it takes in all of that. And then on 5785, because this is so narrow, the property line will go back up in here someplace. So the property line, if it's in the city, will go across here, down this line, take this here, go down here, come across here, and then come back down to the city.
Or it would landlock all the property to the back.
They're landlocked right now. I mean, and it's not landlocked, it's just that the city would own them. There's not a road or anything back there right now. It's just the front part of
The city line would just run through it.
Yeah, and you'd have, part of your land would be in the city and part of it wouldn't be.
Mayor, I'm gonna go ahead and approve the annexation of 5755 Pine Mill Road, 5775 Pine Mill Road, and 5785 Pine Mill Road.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Willows to approve the annexation of 5755, 5775, and 5785 Pine Mill Road. All in favor?
Aye.
Gonna skip all the way over to item 8F, ordinance variance permitting a retail business selling e-cigarettes and vape juices as requested by Breck Doyle, owner. Variance from use regulations, chapter 6, development standards, section 6.002, and D, use regulations.
Got a little thing here for you. I don't know if y'all seen it, I presented the same thing at the zoning and planning. But essentially, I have a little thing written up, it's kind of outlines what I want to do and where I stand on a lot of this stuff. I'm not going to read it word for word, of course, I don't have time. But essentially, like I said, my name is Breck Doyle. Grew up in Detroit, Texas, which is right down the road. And then when I got married, I lived in Blossom, moved to Paris. After that, I spent 6 years going to Texas A&M Commerce. Decided I want to be a teacher, and then I decided I want to be an accountant. I've spent most of my life in business, and this is kind of where it took me to. I do want to open up a vape shop. It's called Vape Amazing Flavors. I started vaping whenever I was, right about 30 years old. I'm 35 now, fixing to be 35. It has helped me a lot. I got diagnosed with diabetes whenever I was 28 years old, and without vaping, I wouldn't be here. There ain't no way. My sister had to have surgery whenever she was younger, maybe 3 years ago. She's been vaping ever since. They told her she had to quit smoking. I mean, this stuff saves. This stuff works. And the reason why I want to open up a store is not only because I feel like I could be successful at presenting this stuff and selling this stuff and helping people out. I want to do it so that people can make a better choice from smoking. There are study after study after study, how much better vaping could possibly be for you than cigarettes. Not only that, I have a business mind. I know I can make money doing this, and I know I can make money for the town doing this, you know, through taxes and whatnot, making good job opportunities here, and, you know, just kind of building here in Reno. The only other option people have is actually in Paris, and that is the only option they have. So having a location here in Reno, since it is close to Paris, and most of the traffic that I see every day coming through this area, my son goes to Blossom Blooms. I'm here every morning, every afternoon. There's a lot of traffic that goes down 82, and I think I can be super successful here. But what we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on cig-a-lights. We're going to focus on variable wattage mods, and basically what I mean by cig-a-lights. A cig-a-light is basically an electronic cigarette. This is what people think about whenever they hear electronic cigarettes. It's just looks like a cigarette. It's real simple. It has a battery that charges, has a cartomizer on the end of it. You can take like 20 puffs off this and you throw it away. That's pretty much what a cig-a-light is. That's where it all started from, and I am going to carry some like that, but I'm not going to make my focus on those because those have very little appeal to keep doing. What has a lot of appeal, essentially, are your variable wattage mods. This right here is a variable wattage mod. They're bigger, they do make a big puff of cloud, and some people find it annoying, but not near as annoying as the smell of a cigarette. The smell of a cigarette is, you know, like everybody complains about it, and I mean, we have studies and tests showing that, you know, how bad cigarettes are for the people around you. There's actually, which is great news for me, about 2 weeks ago, there was a study released that I actually have on there. They did in the UK to show that there is absolutely no second handle of vape. There's nothing at all. The molecules that are actually there with the nicotine, those get absorbed into the body whenever you exhale vape. It is just the scent and the actual VG that's left, which is, you know, vegetable glycerin. It's the thicker of the material or the substance that gets vaped, and then you inhale and exhale. Anyway, that little lesson, because I want you guys to know that this stuff is safe and it is good. I do not plan on selling any kind of glasswares, any kind of herb, any kind of stuff that you might have seen at head shops or anything like that. I don't want to participate in that stuff. That's not what I'm interested in. I am interested in the sale of electronic cigarettes, whether it's variable wattage mods or cig-a-lights. I'm also not going to sell mech mods. Mech mods are unregulated mods. They basically have a 18650 battery and a metal tube that has a base connector button and a positive top that connects directly to the coils that vaporize. Those are the ones that people have had problems with exploding and whatnot because they're unregulated. They don't have any kind of fuses or anything inside of them that'll keep that from happening. I'm not going to sell those inside my store. I'm going to stick with what's safe. These have very few problems other than user malfunction, you know, stuff like this. There's probably over 250 different kind of variable wattage mods out there. So I would offer, of course, a lot of those. I have plans on carrying my own juice as well as premium juice. I know all the regulations on this stuff. I've done all my research on it. I was taught how to mix juice by somebody who's been in the business for more than 8 years. Electronic cigarettes came on the scene real heavy around 2007. The guy that I learned from, I think he started at 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. And he's been super successful. He has multiple vape shops around, and at first, whenever I first started learning from this guy, I had no idea that I'd want to go into it. It was just something that made him happy to talk about, so I listened, because I'm that type of guy. I just listen when somebody wants to talk, and normally it works out. You learn stuff. What I found out that I really do like this, and I like the product. I know the product's helped me, and I know it's helped people in my family, and I've seen people around me that it has helped. I just need y'all's approval for me to just put open the store here. As far as any negative effects to the community, I don't think it's gonna have any negative effects at all. And of course, I'm gonna say that, but I really don't, because if I can get more people around here to just think, okay, well, there's a vape shop really close. I've always wanted to try it out. So they come into my store, they try out whether it's a Cigalite, a pen style, or a variable wattage mod. If I can get them to try it, and that's one more cigarette butt they're not throwing on the ground at the convenience store. That's one more person who's not driving up to Blossom Bloom smoking a cigarette, and maybe even some people who work up there not standing on the side of the building smoking a cigarette while my son's on the inside of it. You know, all this stuff does come into play in my mind, and it's been a big deal. My wife, my fiance, sorry, she had a goal to quit smoking by the time she's 25. She's actually 10 years younger than me. Once she got with me and she was around me while I was vaping, she started realizing that the clothes smelled better and that she smelled better, and she actually did quit smoking. And you know, now she vapes. Do we vape around our son? No, we treat it like it's a cigarette, of course. But do I feel comfortable walking around and being around him after I vape? Absolutely. Because I mean, all he's going to smell is strawberry or strawberry cupcake, or I think I have a cheesecake blend, and I have a few raspberry blends. I mean, it's just a lot different than a tobacco. Yes, there is nicotine in it. I think I vape right now at 1.5 is what I'm mixing. That's literally like smoking half a cigarette a week. I mean, that's no nicotine. I could just knock it out and wouldn't even know it. And that's the goal. We want people to get happy. We want people to be healthier, and we want to do it for them and their family. We want them to actually have a place they can go to and learn about what vaping does. We don't want a shop where people just walk in, they're shown all these flashy things, and they're kind of talked into buying the most expensive one. I really want my shop to be a place for people to go to learn and actually do better stuff for themselves. Now, this is not a health food store, of course. This is a place where you buy products that deliver nicotine. And they soothe the habit of the hand to mouth like a cigarette does. There's still people who are so confused about it. They look at stuff on Facebook, they think that vaping is the most horrible thing ever. There is no study done by any colleges worldwide that have shown that there is any negative side effects as of yet. I'm not saying there won't be in the future, but as of right now, there is 6,000 unknown carcinogens in cigarettes. There are none in vaping because vaping does not have carcinogens. It does not burn anything. It just vaporizes the liquid product. And that's the kind of information that most people don't know, and that's what we're going to supply. But Baked Amazing Flavors is essentially something I have been thinking about for months and months and months, and I finally got to action. I got people that are behind me. And my first thought was put a location in Reno. There's more in Paris. I was blocked out of there. They said all they can have is 3. So they do have them, but 2 of them are smoke shops, which basically sell the same thing you'd get at a convenience store. I mean, it's small, high nicotine, not really healthy electronic cigarettes. And it's just one of those things that people walk in when they're out and they're like, yeah, just give me whatever. And those companies, those Philip Morris companies that produce those, like I think they're called Mark 10, and those cigarettes, those are there to make you crave an actual cigarette. So we only have one vape shop in this area, and it's in Paris. There needs to be another one. The market is crazy right now. They are not coming up as quick as they possibly can to fill the need for vaping. Right now in Paris, as far as what I know from the people in the business right now, it's making, the one shop we have is making a ton of money. And 2 shops, there's plenty of room for that. We have the population for it. We have the people who drive through the town. We have 82, we have 271, just right here. This business works heavily on social media. And with a 25-year-old wife, social media is something I have really learned to use every day in my life. And it's something that I'm good at. And I can hit those markets, and I can get on Google, and I can make my place known, and I can bring more people into Reno. And if I can pull them off 271 and get them to drive 2 miles down the road to Reno, what else can I get them to stop at? There's not a lot of businesses here, but let's say somebody puts a boutique up. That's gonna get those customers, and women love boutiques. My wife, we can't go anywhere without let's just stopping and checking something. We go to Girls Gone Wine at least once a month. We drive all the way to Oklahoma for Girls Gone Wine. Or, we'll go to the Grateful Head. That's what this business is gonna be. It's gonna be a reason to go somewhere, and then once we get them here in Reno, it gives more people opportunity. Once they see that my business is doing well, people are coming to my business, that hopefully it'll spur something and get some more stuff going on. I've talked to a lot of people on businesses here in Reno. Everybody seems to think it'd be great. I think it'll be great. Just sitting and watching the traffic, you really start to see how many people actually come through this town. I want them to stop. I want them to stop in this town, not just drive through. And I think my business can make them stop. Not all of them, but it can make a lot of them stop. Where they're normally going into Paris, maybe they'll stop and they'll get their product from me, and then they'll just go down to the dollar store and they'll shop at the dollar store and drive, instead of driving all the way to town. This could work.
So you're not gonna sell any like herbs or plants or
Absolutely.
bath salts or?
Nope, my store is gonna be exclusively, VW mods, which are variable wattage mods, Sigalites, which on the Sigalites themselves, you don't have to do any fluid at all, it's already there. And I mean, this company is called Clean Sig. This is one of my distributors. This is a very expensive cigarette. I don't like them because they literally taste like a rubber cigarette. It's horrible. People love them. And there's some people who are like, well, I want to try, so I'm going to get that. They pay $15 for this. This huge thing right here costs $45. So if I can convince them not to buy this, that they're going to hate, and to get this, that they're actually going to like. Now, this blows a lot of vape, it really does put off a show. But there's different setups, there's different things that you can do. And, I already have a bunch of people in my camp who know what's going on and who are there to support me, and people that I know I can get to come to my store instead of going to the one in Paris. There's a ton of people. But what I really want is those people who've never been in a vape store, who feel kind of threatened to go in the one in Paris right now because of all the bad things people said about them. They've already moved the water pipe place out, which is the greatest thing ever. My store's gonna be nothing like that. My store's gonna be nothing like that at all. We might have some merch like shirts, or hats or stuff like that, but mostly what we're gonna carry is the mods and the juice, and that's pretty much it. So, and I've been talking a while, I'm out, it's completely dry. So any questions? I'll be happy to answer any question. I don't have, I have done so many, I've researched this stuff so much. As a student at Texas A&M Commerce and the degrees that I have, mathematics, special education, educational psychology, I did my research on this, because I'm just used to it. Research is what I do. So if anybody's any questions, I would love to answer.
You said you make your own juice?
Yes, that is VG, PG, and flavoring. That is it. You order it online. Everything is FDA and everything's food grade. The VG and PG come out of a company that supply the same stuff. I think they're called Essentials. They supply it to name brands like Kellogg and whatnot. It's the same juice. Same substance, I guess, same chemical compound as what you find in cereal. The flavoring is actually cake flavoring. The flavoring I order is pure extract strawberry, lemon, fruit punch, and what's kind of weird is you can actually still see some of the, like when they do those extracts and they concentrate those flavors, like on the lemonade, you actually still have pulp in it, which is kind of weird, but it actually still has, like this is real fruit. What I've been vaping here recently is a strawberry cupcake, and I do not know how they get cupcake, but I know it is an actual extract concentrate of dough, so that's kind of weird. And as a diabetic, it actually helps my craving for sweets, and that's something else too, that a lot of people use it for, is because you don't even have to get nicotine in them. Most of the stuff I'll sell won't even have nicotine in it, and it's not because I'm just not putting nicotine in it, it's just because people come up and they just want the flavor. My wife's boss, she only vapes and no nicotine at all. She just loves that flavor, and it's just something that she comes back for. As far as the business itself, since it's handled just like tobacco products, nobody under the age of 18 will be allowed inside my store. It'll be a no excuse. There is no vape shops in Dallas that let people underneath 18 in their store. There's none in Oklahoma City, there's none here. And even vaporifics, your child is going outside, I'm sorry, you can come back later. It's just the way business has to be ran. That's the same way I run my business. As far as the inside of my store, I'm gonna make sure it is inviting. I'm not gonna have any, like you said, fancy glassware or none of that stuff. No, you're gonna walk in, it's gonna be some jewelry counters, and those jewelry counters will actually have my product in it as far as like the, variable wattage mods and the cigarettes. And then I'll have a juice wall, that's what we call it in the business, a juice wall, which basically just has the flavor run down, what it, you know, what's in the flavors. And then you just say, I need a 30 ml bottle of strawberry. And I get you that 30 ml bottle of strawberry and you're on the way. So it's not, you know, but I will have a lot of information stuff, because that's what I'm about. I'm about informing people. Already have a few things lined up. Of course, if this goes through, have a few things lined up where I'm gonna be at, the Civic Center for, they're having a tattoo, I don't know what you'd call it. But I'm gonna be up there with those guys. A lot of my friends are tattoo artists, and they have a lot of clientele in this area. A lot of people here like to get tattooed, not myself included. And those people are, you know, it's becoming a thing that they transition over into vaping from smoking, because, I mean, it's not that it's edgy or anything, it's just the fact that it's healthier and it's cleaner. And, I mean, I smoked for, well, until I was 30 years old, so from 14 to 30, that's a long time to just up and quit, and it worked, and it did, and I've tried to quit a lot. So, I mean, if I can get a few more people to quit every day, every week, if I can just get one person to quit a month and move to vaping, I think I'm doing better, so.
You're right about that thing putting on a show. I thought Willie Nelson was out there.
It's, there's definitely different devices that do different things. And I like that one myself, because it does put out a lot of vape, because with more vape, you get more flavor. And it really does taste like a strawberry cupcake, which is horrible, because as big as I am. But I enjoy that stuff, and I can't have that stuff, so being able to taste a strawberry cupcake is about the most amazing thing in a diabetic life. So, yeah, and plus I might get nervous. It's just like anything else. I mean, you find comfort in things, and I find comfort in vape. But yes, it is very cloudy.
Thank you. Any questions?
Appreciate it.
Council, I will let you know that he did present the same information to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and he invited even the police department to make frequent stops as often as they needed. They passed it 5-0.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the ordinance variance permitting a retail business selling e-cigarettes and vape juices as requested by Breck Doyle, owner, variance from use regulations, Chapter 6, Development Standards, Section 6.002D, use regulations.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Willows, seconded by Council.
Mr. Mayor, the discussion period now after the second, I need to make sure, because I'll be the one that'll be drafting this ordinance, and I need to make sure I understand that Mr. Doyle is not gonna sell pipes, not gonna sell tobacco products, not gonna sell glasswares of any kind, like bongs or any of that business, not gonna sell plants, he's not gonna sell bath salts. Is there anything else in there that you guys don't want him to be selling? Because if he starts selling stuff that's not in this ordinance, he will be violating the law. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
All right. We have a motion.
I got one question.
I'm sorry.
Well, like the city of Paris has a limit of 3. Is this a one-time variance? If anybody else comes in,
I'm glad you asked that question. When it was first brought to me, it was a request that we change our zoning law. And in conversations with the secretary, I said, I don't think we're ready to do that yet. We'll do a one-time variance and see if that works. And then not just change the whole zoning ordinance to permit this kind of business. So you would be allowed, if there was a second or a third person to come in here, you would be allowed to make the same discretionary decision you're making tonight.
Correct.
Absolutely.
I thought this is just for, because we don't have any kind of ordinance for this, right?
That's right. We have an ordinance that says, in order for you to get a building permit and go ahead, you have to be doing this.
And that's
so
not on the list.
It's not on the list. So, that's correct.
I just want to clarify real quick, they do consider vape to, right now, they consider vape to be a tobacco product, but it's not listed as, like, I'm not gonna sell actual cigarettes.
Who is
I'm gonna
they?
sell-
Who is they?
They is the US government.
We're not the US government, we're the city of Reno. So
Right, so-
they can consider that what we want to.
Okay, good, that's
Okay.
good, that's great.
done, Stacy?
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Willows, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to approve item 8F. All in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna move right below that to item 8G, update on 2017 Reno Haunted Trail.
My little note now. You can start off.
Okay. This is just an update for the city council, which some of you already know, some of you don't. But, this is just in comparison from last year. In 2016, the Reno Haunted Trail raised $9,600, and there were only 12 sections on the trail. And this year, for 2017, Reno Haunted Trail raised $18,432. We had 19 sections on the trail instead of the 12 from last year. We had an increase in local business revenue, and we had more people asking to help with this event and multiple requests to have this for more than one weekend. It was a huge success.
Huge.
Everyone came together and did their part and made it great. Brought a lot of people to Reno.
Yeah, just under 2,000 people came to the haunted trail. That's fantastic.
For those 10 hours.
Yeah.
So how much have y'all got totaled up so far, you know?
From this year and last year, I have it in the book in there. I didn't expect you to ask.
I didn't even think, because I didn't even look, it should be on here,
I
right?
think it's close to 28,000,
Yeah, 96 and 18.3, or 18.4.
but there was a little bit of expense, and then we made a little bit more off t-shirt sales, things like that too, so.
And we're gonna have a community event next month to kind of give back.
16,037.
Well, there's a little bit more from last year as well, and the donations included.
You guys factor in the amount of the city resources put into this thing? The amount of time that you worked on it and the chief works on it and Jerry works on
I
it?
have that figured separately, I do. All the expenses included, I have that. But this was just a quick, we felt the chairman would be able to be involved and give it all, but we just put this together super quick.
And we're already getting requests, people wanting to be a part of it next year, so everybody's pretty hopped up and wants some more.
Want to get that better section.
Just gonna get bigger and bigger, isn't it?
It is, it is.
We get back on schedule over here, item 8C, update on extending City Hall for Public Works Building and Police Department.
Big hole in the ground, south of the building, if y'all hadn't noticed. Put forms up today, all their work. Am I right on that? So we're put forms up today, preparing for slabs.
If they gave y'all an ETA on, like, when they'll be finished, or? I know it has to do with rain, weather, and
By the end of January.
end of January, should- hopefully.
That, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're shooting, but we'll see how it goes. As long as the weather holds out, I'm gonna pretty quick. If y'all had a chance to look at it out there, what we've got, so. And get an idea, you kind of get an idea now what we're looking at. Pretty good time.
I guess they figured out what they're gonna do with that drainage.
Yeah.
Run it down in between it.
Between the two buildings, yeah.
Move it around a little bit.
You can see that, you can see how high this building be level after this add-on. So there'll be some work we'll have to do around the parking lot area around the new add-on.
So it's gonna be just a step. The two buildings aren't, they're not gonna be the same one.
No, my building is.
Is yours gonna be a lot taller?
Mine's about a foot lower, actually. It's on grade, original grade. Because if we brought it up to where originally it was supposed to come to, we had to raise everything around here up that high. But We actually raised it up a little bit more than what they were planning on it, because it was too low, but we didn't want it low enough, but we had any water issues, so it's gonna be a foot or so above the water line, through drainage and everything, but, they'll definitely have to do some work later around the building out here to bring everything up level to it. 'Cause the way the hall is and the way the asphalt slopes so far down away from the building, just the back corner of the building right now is about 2 foot off the ground, above the parking lot of it, so they'll just have to be doing it dirt and bottom level somehow, pipe and stuff right here. And so far, that's the biggest thing I see outside. Got any other questions?
Thank you. Mr. Doyle, you can stick around or you can go if you like.
Just kind of sitting here for a second.
You're welcome.
You soaking it in?
I am,
Dreams coming true? That's good. The dream came true in Reno.
Forward to the grand opening.
Item 8D, payment process for extending City Hall.
We talked about this and talked about this during budget workshops. And then it come down to time to where we had to adopt a budget. Council wasn't certain on how they wanted to do this, where they wanted the money to come from. Now it's coming for 2 different departments, so I need help in clarifying where y'all would like this money to come from.
All right.
I'm looking right at you, Brandon.
All right, when I originally looked at this, our 2010 bond is going to mature in 2018. And that bond is on a 50-50 from the, from water and sewer and 50% from ad valorem taxes. Now, we're gonna have in 2019, we're gonna have the 2004 and the 2005 bond are both gonna balloon. One of them is 65,000 balloon, the other one's 55,000. Now, our payment is gonna be roughly around 49,000 a year for this one. So, we're actually gonna have 52,465 extra, because the payment was 172,465, the 2010 bond. So, if you take that 52,000, split it 50-50, ad valorem taxes, and then also out of the system fund, that would cover the payment. Now, we borrowed extra to make the payment for 2018. So 2019 actually is when the taxes will start paying for it. If that clarifies anything. Hopefully, maybe.
I think it's gonna work for me. If you guys wanna put it into a motion, I can document it, keep up with it. You've got the first interest payment due in April of 2018 for a little over $7,600.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that will be out of what we borrowed extra. Now, I know that we got the money in what, October 20-something?
Yes, we received it October 26th.
Is it not on this?
Well, Judy just printed that, and I just verified to make sure we have it. I don't know why it's not on there. Maybe she needs to include a new line item for that or something.
And then their draw would just come out of that, right? Out of that line item.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a motion on on exactly how the payments are gonna be funded? Is that what we needed?
We never discussed that, and, we may need a budget amendment for future payments.
Well, I know the one for 2018,
That one's
it's
be
gonna have
covered
to be
with
like a
this one.
budget amendment for that 7,700 or whatever.
So this year, you want that one to come out of the funds that we just received, that's good enough, okay.
Right.
Because we did borrow more.
Right.
Gotcha.
For that reason right there, to cover the payment for this year until the 2010 bond matures.
And that's now gonna have that interest payment due this
Mhm.
year.
Right.
These payments do all get October.
Okay.
Gotcha. That works for me.
Yeah, 70, April of this year, 7,600. Then also in October, that payment also is gonna have to come out of the extra that we borrowed. 41,160. Because the 2010 won't be paid for until January. So actually, we wouldn't have the new taxes in until 2019, which would start in April 15th, 2019. That 7,700 payment would come out of ad valorem taxes and the system fund 50/50. I know that the two projects are different amounts, but it's just, I guess, the way to kind of figure it. They couldn't be equal. So a 50/50 is just the easiest way to do it.
So let me see if I can track this. So if I pick up these minutes in 5 years and read them, I'll know what happened. The money we just borrowed from the certificate of obligation, are we gonna call that the 2018 certificate of obligation?
2017.
2017 certificate. Those funds are gonna be used to retire the water system bond, or certificate that's due in 2018. We're gonna use those funds to retire that. And then also, the very first interest payment on the 2017 certificate is gonna come from the borrowed funds. Is that right?
Retire which one?
The one that's due in 2018, the one we borrowed to do the water tower, the water system bond.
No.
No.
That's budgeted.
Okay, that's already budgeted. So what other certificates are we gonna pay off using the 2017?
Nothing.
Nothing, okay.
No other bonds are gonna be paid. The 2010 is the next one to mature,
All
and
right.
that'll be in 2018. So, and we're just gonna use the funds from, the excess funds that we would have generated to pay this bond and apply it to the 2017.
I got you, okay.
That helps me.
But we're just kind of jumping a year ahead and going ahead and doing it now, and then, and using borrowed extra money to make a year's payment,
Yeah, okay.
kind of. If that makes sense.
And then during the next year, those others will be paid off, so we can start paying out of
Right.
revenues
Mhm.
and use the certificate of obligation. Okay.
Right, and actually in 2019, we'll actually come out if I figure this out, $4,043 extra. So,
That's that big windfall.
there it is. We're gonna get that big windfall.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Glad you remember.
But like I said, that's just the way that I figured it, so.
Item 8E, RG3 Utilities invoice number 1806 in the amount of $26,867.32.
This is still payment, the last payment for the water meter project. It's taken a long time to get to the point that, that side of it for probably a year, to get everything, where it works right. Everything's working now, able to use computers in here, all the software and everything, software working, everything they did, for Becky and Tricia in here, where they can access all that, so now they can go in, go up there to the computers and read the meter, or read a meter, or check somebody's account and do any of that. So that stuff's all working pretty good. But this payment, what happened was, is the time ran over on, this project, before they got this section of it done, and what, I think basically what happened was we decided at that time to take that money, and I thought we were gonna put it into another separate account, but I think we just rolled it back into the fund balance, right?
I believe that's right.
Okay, so that's where the money is. Basically, we're just having to do this to bring the money back up to finish this project.
Did I hear you right say this is the last?
That'll be the last payment for Quick. At the end of that, they still have a retainage fee that they're gonna have to go through the engineers to close this job completely out, to get their 10% retainage that's still out there. So they still have that invoice, and then there's 10% retainage on the project, which is
30,000.
yeah, that'll finish the project.
So that'll square out that 55,000 we got budgeted.
No, that's for the payment. That 55,000 is for the actual payment for the loan that we got for it.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is they didn't carry that.
So
at
this
that
is
time.
totally extra.
No, it's not. We have the money for it. The money, the loan money we got, the loan proceeds that we were paying this project that was going along with rolled over budget. So we had to take that money and put it somewhere so we
Gotcha.
finish this project up.
Gotcha.
So the money's actually in there, we're just having to do a budget amendment to get the money back out to make the payments to finish this project up.
So this budgeted last fiscal year, we just ran over, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we basically got a loan for the entire amount of this project. We didn't spend it all until it completed, so we held that money back until they finished it. So now we're just having to go back and pay it, but, we already had the money.
Okay.
Correct.
And that just got put into the fund balance?
I wanted to ask Judy, she's not here today, she had to go to Louisiana for something. But, usually in that situation, she would roll it over into a designated fund account.
Right.
And that may be real, I'm not sure.
And I need to verify with her, and she may have done that, but I'm thinking it might have went over into the fund balance, I'm not certain. I need to find out from her.
Yeah, it was roughly $70,000, I think, left on the project at that time, well, over, or somewhere in that ballpark.
I did try to call her this afternoon, and she didn't answer. I was just gonna try to clarify it for you guys beforehand, but didn't answer.
But we need to make a budget amendment somehow to get the money to back up to pay this. That's about what it boils down to, so.
When is this due? Like yesterday?
9/27.
But that was the invoice date. It says net terms 30
Oh.
days, but, they just sent this to us recently.
Do you think it's gonna take a budget amendment to do this? Because the agenda item doesn't say that.
I think if you could approve the invoice, then later on you guys can do a budget amendment.
Like next time, that's a very smart idea.
Yes.
I was so smart because I was thinking about that myself. We don't wanna amend the budget when the agenda doesn't say that.
Right.
Okay.
And this is to also let you guys know to expect that 30,000, 34,000, however much it's gonna be for the retainage fee, just so that you won't be surprised when it is time to pay
Yeah,
that
it
too.
may be a few months down the road, I'm not sure how often it does, so they have to go through the bill in the weeks, to get all that kind of stuff, and they're gonna have to contact us, sit down with, make sure that we're satisfied with everything they have before they get that 10% retainage back.
I'll make a motion that we accept invoice number 1806 to RG3 Utilities in the amount of $26,867.32.
I second.
I have a Motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Wood to accept item 8E, invoice number 1806 in the amount of $26,867.32. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 8H, donation to Boy Scouts for 2017 haunted trail parking as recommended by Parks and Trail Committee.
How many cars y'all parked?
Every
Every
single,
one of them.
half of them in the dark.
Because if you read this, it had 1,832 people and several cars.
We didn't count the cars, but I know that they really worked hard.
Well, there are several.
I bet you could probably say half that.
I bet you at least half of that.
They worked really hard, and they didn't have to come out and do this. They just this is volunteer work for them, and it's all appreciated. The Reno Parks and Trail Committee met, and they agreed to donate $500 of the proceeds to the Boy Scouts. We're just bringing this to your attention for your blessing.
I'll leave the room, it doesn't make sense.
I think it's the least we could do. They were a huge help.
Yeah.
And they didn't get any donations.
Yeah.
Did I see $500 was the amount? Okay. So do we need to put that in the motion form?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we donate $500 to Boy Scouts for the 2017 haunted trail parking as recommended by the Parks and Trail Committee.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to donate $500 to the Boy Scouts for 2017 haunted trail parking. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 8I, purchasing a fence for Reno Historic African American Cemetery.
Well, as much as we'd love to purchase a fence,
It's gonna be a challenge.
there's a little bit more work that needs to be done first. The cemetery committee met and discussed purchasing a fence and making some improvements, and there's just a few things that need to be done before we can purchase a fence. For one, there's a lot of trees around there still. We cleared out how many trees, Jerry?
28.
We cleared out 28 trees, but there's still a lot more that needs to be cleared before you can have room to build a fence.
The north side is very thick. Very thick. I know all the rain we've gotten in the past year hasn't helped at all. I mean, they've done a lot of work, but
Really need to get, it really needs to be done more like this lot that's done out of town airport road. Something, you know, that, shoot all that up, put down all the small and underbrush trees and stuff. That's what I'd recommend y'all do.
okay.
Let me ask y'all a question. Whenever y'all do put up a fence on the, let's say on the north side, would it replace the people who live there, their backyard fence?
It looks like there's an
There's-
easement
Or is there-
back there.
The utility, the 25-foot utility is behind those houses in between that cemetery.
Okay, good. So it'd be, okay.
There's some barbed wire that's barely there now that would be removed, would replace that. It's barely there. So if you'd like to kick this back to the cemetery committee, we can revisit it and maybe use the money towards.
I'd like to see it all fenced.
Would too, but we've definitely got a lot of work to do before we're gonna be able to be at that stage.
Oh, yeah. Might get the Boy Scouts out there.
Yes.
We can only do it when it's dark.
A little flashlight.
We're gonna table that.
Do I need a motion to table this?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
I move to go ahead and table purchasing a fence for the Reno Historic African American Cemetery.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Nichols to table the motion 8I, purchasing a fence for Reno Historic African American Cemetery. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 8J, Paris Economic Development Letter of Support.
And, I'm sorry, council, this was just tabled from last month. I just put it back on here because it was tabled, but this vote has already come and gone and passed, just throwing that out there.
I was wondering until I saw your note.
Yes.
Yeah, I asked for that to be tabled. I would recommend we take no action since it's already passed.
Item 8J, no action.
No action, yes, sir.
Item 8K, Christmas in the Park, as recommended by Parks and Trail Committee.
We have an awesome event coming up. It's coming together nicely. If you haven't heard, we are bringing in real snow for this festival, thanks to help from Lamar National Bank in Reno. It's gonna be a big snow party. That part will take place at 3 o'clock. It's gonna be free for the community to come out and just have so much fun. We'll get started at noon. We've already got 7 vendors that sell anything from home decor to Christmas decorations to makeup, just last minute Christmas gifts, things like that. We have 7 vendors. We're gonna have snacks and beverages. We've got 2 groups so far of Christmas carolers and the cloggers coming out, different activities and games for the children. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Fire department's agreed to bring Santa Claus in at 4. He'll be there till 5, and then we'll have the Lamar County Adopt a Cop raffle drawing at 5 o'clock, and then light up the park at 6. So it's gonna be great. I hope everybody can come out. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. And if y'all wanna dress up in costumes, that's highly encouraged.
Is the chief of police gonna run a 5K during this one?
Yes,
12K.
12K, yes. In the snow, both ways.
Hey, if it does snow that day, do you get your money back from the people who are gonna
Yes.
bring the snow?
Yes, we do.
24 hours.
We have 24 hours to cancel.
Yes, snow refund. Snow refund.
Yes, as long as we contact him in 24 hours before the event, if it's gonna rain or snow, we can cancel and not pay a dime. There's a map attached to show kind of how we're laying everything out. We'll have the activities, taking place under the pavilion. I'm looking towards some food trucks that's still kind of up in the air. We could put those in the new section of the parking lot. Cloggers, we're gonna use the basketball court as kind of a stage there for cloggers, singers, things like that. It's gonna be really neat. And then the square that she's got drawn there with the dashes, that's where we're gonna have all of our vendors. Hopefully we'll have quite a few. Like I said, we're already at 7, so I think it's gonna be great. And again, it's free to the public. It's kind of a give back, you know, from the haunted trail and everything. It's gonna be fantastic.
Be a good addition.
Yeah, the extra parking over there is nice.
Very nice. Just. And we've already started putting up lights at the park. We're hoping to have the whole park lit up by Black Friday. We spent a whole day yesterday wrapping a tree. It's very pretty.
So that's just an update?
Mhm.
Okay. Item 8L, update on drainage repairs for Mount Olive Road, Anderson, and Key West.
I'll start with Key West Road, we put some culverts in over there. Main culvert right there at, Holcomb and Key West were replaced upside, been bigger. Some things been down, we haven't seen yet, but that was the main concern on the road, with all the complaints coming from that area there. Try to help that lady across the street was getting flooded out. We still have a few more small ones to replace on there. We got the big one right now. We haven't got any started on Anderson, but we're still working towards that one. Mount Olive Road, I told you out here a while back where we discussed having the Hayer engineer look at, to see what it would take to fix that problem over it being such a big issue. Mr. Attorney, you had a chance to look that over?
I really did. Because I got a call from the city secretary that said I needed to read it.
Well, you need to, cause it's legal jargon.
When I got it, yeah, I asked, what it would cost that, and this is what I received back from them, so I'm not real sure what, if we made any progress there or not.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. I see a lot of numbers, but nothing, not a total,
No.
Nothing actually,
or how many hours it's gonna take, or.
I don't know.
On page 2 of that exhibit there, or that, yeah, it's exhibit A, I think, or the back page of the deal. Down at the bottom, G, compensation. Everything above that, they're saying it's gonna be a lump sum for $6,100. That's the cost. And so what you're getting for that is,
Where did you see that?
up on page 2, is what it says, but actually it's further back in the document. You got Exhibit A. Exhibit A starts at about the 3rd or 4th page over. No, it's after page 6 is Exhibit A. It's on the 2nd page of that. Looks like this. Right
That's
there.
what I thought it was.
Down there under paragraph G. So what you're gonna get are the services, that's in Exhibit A, which is a survey, the design phase, what they're gonna look at it, and then a proposal on what to do. So that gets you up through doing the survey, their design on what would take care of the problem, and then their proposals, and if there's any alternates to Plan A, maybe a Plan B, that's it. If you do anything else, then they bill you under Exhibit B.
Right.
So if you ask them to do anything other than that, you're gonna get an additional bill for it. And the contract says that you need to designate one person as your representative to contact them, which is probably a good idea. And it also says that if they're asked to do something, it has to be in writing. So calling them up on the phone and saying, hey, would you guys do this? You have a shot against saying, well, we're not gonna pay that because it's not in writing. Or if city employee A is the one you put in charge, and city employee C is the one that gets them to the additional services, then that's not our point person, so that's the legalese of all this business. So $6,100, if you agree to this, gets you up to, here's what we think will fix it with the survey and the options. Well, the city secretary called me. Said, read this.
Please.
So I said, okay.
I didn't either. When I flipped the page, I saw all these prices over here. I went, oh, there it is.
First thing you look at.
Yeah, I missed that too.
Funny how they kind of hide it in there, don't they?
I think they can make the font just a little bit smaller,
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
maybe.
The only thing that I'm kind of nervous about is paying, let's just say $6,000, which for them to say, well, you're gonna need to increase the size of the culverts running underneath the road, and you're gonna need to bulldoze that creek. Which
Which we know,
everybody in this room can sit here and tell you that.
we know that's what is gonna have to be done.
Right.
I mean, we know that.
And the only thing I'm saying is, do you think that we need to spend $6,000 before we at least try to bulldoze that creek out?
Well,
Because for what we pay right here to Hayter Engineering for $6,000,
I think before we agreed to pay the $6,000, we need to take another run at the property owner.
yeah, because for $6,000, we could probably get it bulldozed for $6,000.
That's what I'm going with. For that money there, we can hire a contractor to do some more work. Her biggest issue was being able, to instead of just giving us an easement.
Hang on a minute, here.
Don't forget what you're gonna say.
Cold medicine, who got me?
Kinda cold.
Oh, I got
I can tell you look rough.
5 days. Had the flu.
Oh, thanks for being here tonight.
They don't know that I had the flu.
Yeah, I know you have it now, so,
What do you think?
I talked to her earlier, and I thought Dave had something.
Nothing. Just put it this way, all I've ever made, I was after 4 days, 5 days.
It's me.
something, some kind of drawing or some plans or something showing that, hey, the city's gonna be responsible for this ditch that's going down through here. They're gonna give me something that they can maintain, and not just gonna put it in, come back, not ever come back and do anything with it.
We could put
Sure, we
something in
can get that
writing.
done with an easement. I mean, if that, we can convince her that that's what we're gonna do. That may be the tough part, but, you know, Matt's talked with her, I've talked with her. But I think it's worth that to go back and look at that again before we make a decision on spending this kind of money. for
Right.
anything.
And I'm not saying that Hayter wouldn't do a good job and do exactly the right thing, and we'd know exactly what to do. But personally, I think that we ought to at least try to fix what we all know would be the problem before we start paying somebody to tell us what the problem is that we already know what is.
Well, that's kind of what I was looking for when I asked, when I started asking, talking to him about this. I kind of thought I would get, hey, probably gonna cost you about $50,000 or something to do, you know, whatever, but this is what I got instead, so.
Right.
I told you that, I'd bring it to you, so. that's what that was.
Because I was kind of hoping that they would come back with something, let's say, for $500, they'll tell us exactly what needs to be done and how much it would be.
Right.
Now that, I'd go for that, but
It's gonna be very extensive
But it,
with what they're talking about doing here.
I hope it is for $6,100.
Yeah, it would, I was gonna say, the project may.
I mean, I hope you don't call them
I
at,
don't know if we're talking about a $30,000 project or a $350,000 project.
Right.
You know, that's the thing here, you know, if we spend that kind of money, we're looking at a $350,000 project, guys.
What, if that, if part of the problem is on private property and they don't allow anybody back there, if they don't want Hager back there, do we have any recourse?
That's another issue, I really don't know.
So, seems like talking to the property owner would be the perfect,
I think that's what we need to continue to try to go, put our efforts towards.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna eventually solve the problem, because that's what's causing the problem. And we know that, I know that, everybody here knows that. But that's, I think that we keep working on it, see what we do. I think we need to hold off on this one.
yeah. If it was all city property, that's one thing, but then when you're having to deal with a property owner that may not want them back there, then
what would be the steps on getting an easement for something like this?
Is this a creek, a riverbed? What is it that we're?
Shallow creek, kind of a draw that's grown up with
The story
trees.
on this is the county dug this creek across there
Years ago,
20-something years ago.
20-ish years ago.
Is it part of the watershed that goes into the Sulphur River or the Red River, or where's it go?
It would shed into the sulfur.
It goes
It-
into the,
Yeah.
That, that may be, if it's a creek bed that's part of the watershed, it may be considered, that bed may be public.
it's not a creek.
But if it was man-created, then it's not. So it's private property.
Yes, it was kind of one of those deals back in the day, the counties came in and said, we're flooding down here, we gotta get this water out of here, so they cut this ditch through here. They talked, homeowners said, I guess the husband agreed to it at the time, cut the ditch. County never came back and maintained it and did anything, so they got mad, and went in and built basically put the ditch back.
They brought in truckloads of concrete blocks and just dumped it in. Now trees are growing up where the draw is.
And the creek wasn't much anyway, it's only
Yeah, it was just,
so wide.
you can tell it was just a draw they put in, so whenever the ditch came together, it went down this draw through these people's place to the creek behind them.
Big creek back there.
Right. And so, but over time, it's grown up, concrete blocks, sticks everywhere.
Now the ditch comes out for water, the ditch is up here.
Right.
Stops, there's nowhere to go.
You just have to get either a drainage easement or a utility easement out there with the agreement that you would maintain it. Landowner would have to say, yep, you can do that.
Well, I don't have a problem going back and speaking with her again, and just see if we can make any progress. Without that being done, there's not a whole lot I can do with it.
If you do talk to her, ask her you know, how she felt about us coming in and clearing out all those trees, piling them up, burning them right there, getting rid of them, and completely cleaning all that.
When she talked to me, I halfway know her, from like days of working in Paris. When she talked to me, she was not real happy that the county dug that years ago, and she wasn't the one that gave the permission. It was her, as she described it, her drunk ex-husband that gave the county permission, so, yeah. She doesn't want, she's willing to talk to us about it, she doesn't want any more land in that gone. She doesn't, she wants to keep what she has. And I guess this land goes way, way, way back in the family, so there's a lot of sentimental value to it. So,
And she was tossing out some ideas on what she would like to do if she does do anything with it. One of them was put underground culverts all the way across there.
Oh,
yeah, she don't like the creek here at all.
That's where this discussion came in. Was that feasible and, you know, but you're talking a lot of money there too, I'm sure. Or a concrete line ditch. She also mentioned that. I don't know if the city could afford that size of a project.
I mean, putting in, you know, that, what kind of rock is that, that boulder rock? Putting that in would be,
Wrap.
Yeah, that
yeah,
would be,
wrap, that,
that would be expensive.
right.
My experience with that is, thing grows through it, you can't maintain it, so, I don't know. It's gonna have to be discussed, of what we can do, and maybe we can just get a bid off. She says, hey, I'll let y'all go in there and do this if y'all put this rock in, or if you do this, and I'll get some bids and get an idea.
Now, we can put in like other kind of rock or something in it, apple base or something, but,
I don't know enough about it, that's why I thought.
but I don't think it would erode really, because it, only time it, if you kept grass growing in it, it's only gonna, water's only gonna run when it rains, and then stop thereafter. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be running for days or like a creek would.
That whole field goes down,
Mm-hmm.
headed back that way. I believe that ditch only went so far across that property. One time it just kind of leveled out and just kind of dispersed the water out there. But you have to kind of look at it, see, still probably several 100-foot ditch there, I'm sure. Because I think all they did back then was they took a maintainer through there.
Turned it and then it came back and that's it.
And then I think the water washed it wider and deeper through the years, and then initially they didn't like that, because the May College County said, hey, you know, come fix this ditch, and they said, oh, we don't want to do it.
Well, I'll fix it.
Well, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
So they fixed it.
Now, right there where it kind of goes in, now, maybe we could concrete that or rock it or something to keep, right, to keep that part, that Y from washing out. But I'd rather try something along that line before we start getting them
The
involved.
fact that you got a letter back from the engineer to put like a lawyer jar in it, and oh, by the way, for us to look at it anymore, it's gonna cost you about $6,000,
Right,
means that doing it the right way, or whatever way the engineer wants you to do it, is gonna be really, really expensive. So a piece of paper costs you $6,000. Imagine what some equipment's gonna cost you. Usually.
Yes, I said at this point, go back, take it, take another shot and talk to her and see if, you know, come some kind of agreement, we could, you know, everybody happy, but.
Thank
Thank
This
you.
meeting is adjourned.